Hi everyone. It is Monday, April the 29th. So I thought I want to attempt to do a reading vlog in May. I'm not sure how much I'll be recording because I'm so out of the swing of like filming and doing reading vlogs and everything. So we'll see how it goes. It might be a bunch of videos and this goes well, or it might just be one video at the end of the month. I don't know, but I wanted some accountability, so I'm hoping this is successful. I've just missed making regular videos, and I thought maybe I could make a reading vlog work. I'm using May as sort of a, oh, and he's off. I'm using May as a clean out month of my TBR because I think, actually, I'm just going to give you the correct numbers. I'm going to go to my Goodreads because it's stressing me out how many books I have that I'm currently reading on there. So let's see here, my books. So I checked on my Goodreads and I am currently reading 23 things on Goodreads. A couple of years ago, I actually did like a TBR takedown week, but that was because I had 7 books currently reading. This is just outrageous. So I'm doing it over the course of the month. And I'm okay with DNFing some of them. I just want to give each one a proper try and make a decision then. So first up on the docket is, I can't hold it up because Arthur's having his bottle right before he takes a nap, is Winter's Heart by Robert Jordan, the 9th in the Wheel of Time series. Doris and I started this in February. It's ridiculous. She's many chapters ahead of me now. I don't know if she's finished it, but it's not that I don't enjoy it. It's just that it takes so long to read those books that I feel like it's such a sacrifice of like my reading time. I enjoy it whenever I sit down with it. Even though this one is a bit long-winded. Let's face it, which of them, you know, they're all like 700 pages. Which of them aren't long-winded? Boy, he just guzzled this. He was really hungry. So Winter's Heart. And then, because it's going to expire on Overdrive soon, Bundori by Laura Jo Rowland, which is the second in the Sano Ichiro, like Shogunate era Japanese detective series. And I'm loving it. It feels like a thriller when I read it. And just the only reason I hadn't, read it sooner is I had buddy reads and other things going on. So yeah, I'm going to work on that today. And those are the 2 I think I'll be working on today. And just kidding. And probably doing an hour of Barnaby Rudge on audiobook by Charles Dickens. I'm really not enjoying that. It might drive me to DNF it, but I want to be able to say that I've read all of Dickens' books, but I can tell it feels just like A Tale of Two Cities did and Nicholas Nickleby. I'm so uninvested. We'll see what happens. So for now, I'm going to persevere and just do an hour of audiobook a day and fast forwarded a bit. So I did want to show my hoopla. So like I said, I have Barnaby Rudge, and I'm only going to do an hour a day. That's the only way I think I'll get through it. I don't know. Maybe it'll pick up. But I seem to, with Dickens, either I like his books or I don't like them. There's not really an in-between for me. And I think this is an I don't like. But the jury could still be out. I'm only, I only think I'm like 3 hours into it. And then I have about an hour left of A Stranger in Mayfair by Charles Finch. That's the 4th in the Charles Lennox Victorian mystery series that I'm reading with Kate from the novel Nomad. We're both enjoying it. It's not gripping me terribly, but I only have an hour left, so I'm going to finish that. I'm very excited currently about the Hercule Poirot series because I just finished 3-Act Tragedy and I absolutely loved it. It may have actually been my favorite one yet. And with Agatha Christie, I find her 3 stars I'm not that excited about. As opposed to other mysteries, which I might be. I don't know. So I got Death in the Clouds, but I have that for 3 more weeks. So it's not urgent, but I had 2 more Hoopla checkouts left for the month, and it's the penultimate day of April, so I didn't want to forget. And then I got, somebody recommended on my channel, the Seven Sisters series by Lucinda Riley. I think it's like a romance series, but there's lots of adventure and stuff. And so I can't just read pure romance. But this seems like it might have more. Marie Diapolisi and her 5 sisters were all adopted as babies, which that's only 6 sisters. But when their father dies, each of them are given a clue to their true heritage, a clue which takes Maya across the world, Rio de Janeiro. And she convinces her father to allow her to accompany him to Europe. So it goes back to 1927. So I think it's going to have some like dual narrative type of stuff. It seems like it could be really great. So Peter is doing his Monday movie, and I have put on the relaxing music epic fantasy playlist to play while I am working on Winter's Heart. So I will tell you, I'm currently on page, let's see here, 491 of 7, I thought it was 845. Oh, of 760. So, around 300 pages. So we'll see kind of how much I want to work on Winter's Heart today. It is Monday night now, and it was not the best reading day. I'm just really overwhelmed at the length of Winter's Heart, and it's really silly because I do not have much left. You can see that's, the amount I have left compared to the size of the book, but it's just so detail heavy. And I kind of hem and haw while I read these because there are chapters that I really enjoy. And then there are chapters with so much info dumping that they just feel really tedious. And now there are so many additional characters that I find it hard to be interested in all of the chapters where, they're kind of the main characters that there were at the beginning that I was interested in. And now there are so many extra people. It's really hard to keep track of everything. But then I still find myself at the end of each book, the ending is so exciting, glad that I read it. So I don't know, I keep going through it. But Doris is on she finished chapter 26 and had left me a message. This is a couple weeks ago. This is how behind I am. And I just finished chapter 23. So I was kind of thinking I would just like plow through this, but I think that's too overwhelming and that I want to just read a couple chapters a day. Except tomorrow I think I'll read 3 chapters so then I can be caught up with Doris, and then maybe 2 chapters a day. Because that I just kept avoiding reading because I felt overwhelmed, like, oh, I'm just going to sit there, for like all of nap time reading this. I don't really know what my plan was, but I think I've changed my plan to that. And I didn't read any of Bundori, my mystery, which I wanted to. But I did do a little bit of audiobook time to start. I should have started Barnaby Rudge, but instead I started The Seven Sisters by Lucinda Riley. This might be the beginning of a beautiful relationship, me and Lucinda Riley. I can't tell you, I listened to about an hour of it. I enjoyed it so much, just so compelled. And I think also I was enjoying just how easy it was to pay attention to. The writing is just very straightforward, and just when you're reading high fantasy or classics, then when you read modern things, it seems like you're reading a children's book in comparison. So I think I was also just really enjoying how easy it was to read. But there's 6 sisters, even though it's called Seven Sisters. There's 6 sisters in this, and I really love getting to see female friendship in books. Come the time of the day, if you watch my chronic illness reading video, you'll know I talked about my chronic illness, which is postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome, or POTS for short. So I've been doing my exercise program, and so Monday, Wednesday, Friday is cardio, and I'm going to be on my exercise bike. And I've typically been watching the Mary Tyler Moore Show. I was thinking of doing the audiobook of The Seven Sisters, but I'm like, no, I really want to treat while I'm doing my my cardio time.
I'll see you tonight. One question: where am I going to find a 40-pound cat?
Good morning. It is Tuesday morning, and as you can probably tell, I just had a shower, and I was wondering if anyone else out there likes to in the morning after you've had a shower, when you wear your bathrobe and you have a cup of coffee. I feel really luxurious, like I'm on vacation or something. I don't know. It's just always very treaty to me when I wake up in time to take a shower before the boys are up. I really love to have a cup of coffee on my own with a book. So some mornings I wake up too late or I'm too lazy to come down in time. But this morning I got up, had quiet time, and took a shower, and now I'm gonna have a cup of coffee and work on the next chapter I want to read of Winter's Heart. So sure enough, all of my excited energy at the beginning of the day earlier has depleted totally, and it is such a tired day. But it's really sweet. A friend has offered to take Peter for a couple hours, just because one of the things that I feel especially guilty about with chronic illness is that we stay home so much. And I'm a homebody, so I don't mind all that much. Like, I definitely enjoy getting out a couple times a week. But I think it's really, I know baby Arthur doesn't care, but I think it's hard on Peter because he is so full of energy and all of that. So that was really sweet of her. And Arthur's doing his morning nap right now. He still does a morning nap. It's working for us, so we're doing it. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, you know? So I am gonna, this morning though, even though it is a tired day, I was really into the chapters of Wheel of Time that I was reading. I read through 3 chapters and I really enjoyed those because they were characters I was familiar with, all of them, and just really wrapped up in what's happening in the story right now. But I also, some friends came over for dinner a couple weeks ago and brought roasted seaweed, and I am obsessed now. So I'm just snacking on some seaweed, and I'm gonna try to read Bundori until Arthur gets up from his nap. So it's actually, even though I'm tired, I was really enjoying those Wheel of Time chapters, and I'm grateful that I was enjoying this. Hi. You want out of your towel? What are you doing? What are you doing?
We just got it! Mom! Come on, y'all, let's catch up. You can see it from back there. Keys! What's going there?
Okay, I'm going to put the quarters in there. Penny right there. This right here. Okay, now turn the wheel.
What is this?
Look on it. It pressed your penny with the design. Isn't that cool?
Whoa! Is it for a necklace?
It's got Martin Shaw in, and I don't watch it because of Martin Shaw. I don't watch it because he's a handsome man. He may be a handsome man.
Hi everyone. So it's now Friday, and today is a good energy day, which is so exciting. The last couple days were pretty rough, so I didn't film all that much. Had an appointment on Wednesday, and with yet another rude doctor. I'm so done. And then Thursday was a pretty tired day. But today I woke up and I thought, you know what? I think today is going to be a high energy day. And I had been wanting to take the boys to the zoo because as you will have seen in the clips, they have these Lego replicas of different animals, and I didn't want to miss it. It's there for a couple more months, but I just wanted to jump on the opportunity while we could, because we're not going out very much. And it was wonderful just to get out of the house, to be at the zoo. They had so much fun. And we actually didn't see that many animals. We stopped at the gorillas. That was Peter's very first priority, was seeing the gorillas. He loves them. And we saw the tigers and lions. And then we went to a couple of kids' play areas, and it was really nice. I'm home now. This is the morning that I uploaded my chronic illness and reading video, and I knew people were going to leave nice comments, and sure enough, it's just so lovely to see so many comments and so many subscribers who also suffer from chronic illness. And you know, my husband has talked about it before. There are just so many people out there who have really hard things going on in their life, and they just carry on, and they do good things even when their life is really hard. So it's really encouraging to see lots of people who maybe are feeling really unwell a lot of the time, but they just keep on keeping on. So having, you know, a day like this where we were able to get out was really nice. And now I'm chilling at home. I watched Louise at the Big Haired Bookworms Friday Reads. I love that she regularly does a Friday Reads. I look forward to it every single Friday, and they're usually longer. So I was replying to comments whilst watching that. As far as reading progress goes, I am on track to finish Winter's Heart on Sunday, and I'm really enjoying it, and I'm really excited to read the next one. I'm not sure when we're going to, but I'm back. I'm really, now that I'm almost to the end, I'm like in the groove of things with reading it. And I decided to put down Bundori for now. I just kept avoiding picking it up. It's so silly when I do that. Like, I'm reading for leisure. It's not for a class. No one is making me read it. So I'm just putting it down for now. It's really graphic, and sometimes I'm in the mood for a more like gritty type mystery, but I'm not right now. And I have so many other books I want to get to. So I started yesterday, Pages and Go, Tilly and the Book Wanderers by Anna James. So my library did not have this. I wanted to read it during middle grade March. And then they ordered it. I filled out you can fill out for your library a form requesting that they get a book. And they emailed me a couple days after I filled out the form and said they thought it was a great book for the library to have. So that was obviously back in March, and now it's here and I have it. I picked it up last Saturday, and I'm really excited to read it. So just read the first 2 chapters, but it's one of those books for book lovers. Pages & Co. is a bookshop, and it just seems like it's going to be spectacular. Lizzie Bennett has already made a brief appearance. So yeah. And then I am hooked, absolutely hooked with The Seven Sisters. So I started that. I've been playing this new app that I love called Matchington Mansion, where you have to get all these matches, and when you get enough points, you can like refurbish this house. So I've been obsessing with listening to The Seven Sisters. I love the narrator, and playing this game. And I'm just so hooked, and it's dual narrative, and it's in Rio de Janeiro, which is a really interesting location. And so I'm so excited about this series, and you get to know a different sister in each book. I'm just pumped about it. Next library mystery that I need to finish is The Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz. And as the more I'm saying I stopped reading Bundori, like the better I feel about that decision. I was just avoiding it. So I am, how far into The Word is Murder? 173 pages, and it is about 360 pages. So I have about 200 pages left. which with a mystery, you know how that can fly by. And then one more book, or not one more book. I wanted to look how far into the Seven Sisters I am. We still have not, we left right after breakfast, so I have to clean up breakfast up on the table. Just keeping it real. So I think I'm 260 pages through the Seven Sisters out of 450. So a little less than 200 pages left there. I'm really liking all those books. Like I said, just, and putting down Bundori, it's not like I can't pick it up another time. I can totally pick it up another time. Yeah. And I am very much looking forward to, this is not for a couple weeks, but I have all my buddy reads lined up now for May and next week with a lovely subscriber, Elena. Hi, Elena, if you're watching. We're going to be starting The Girl of the Limberlost. We read Freckles together last month, and we both felt kind of conflicted about it. It was like, at most, a 3-star read. It was hovering between 2.5 and 3 stars, and there was nothing majorly wrong with it, but there was nothing super amazing about it. So I remembered loving The Girl of the Limberlost about a decade ago. So, or more than a decade. But I'm worried it's not going to live up to my memory. But so far, all of the classics that I've reread, I have loved even more the second time around. We'll see. And then The Firebird by Susanna Kearsley with Robin from Driftless Reader. And we're slowly going through Susanna Kearsley's books together, which is lovely. And then Betsy Was a Junior by Maud Hart Lovelace. That's the May Betsy Tacy read-along read. So I'll be discussing that with Kelly and Katie from Life Between Words, Kelly from Books I'm Not Reading. And then I'm wondering if there was maybe one more in there, but also The Return of the Native by Thomas Hardy. I'm so excited for this group. It's Natalie from Books I'm Not Reading, Adam from Memento Mori, Kate from the novel Nomad, and Bree Hill. It's going to be lovely. I really like buddy reading with Adam, especially, and it's this is only the second buddy read I've done, so that's why I'm particularly excited about it. Has anybody else tried this ranch popcorn seasoning? I am obsessed. It's just so delicious. It's a powder, and you put it on. Oh, I've been eating so much popcorn with it. It's so yummy. I'm going to have some Earl Grey tea, having a tea break, and just did a bunch of audiobook of the Seven Sisters, and now I only have 140 pages left, so I'm just enjoying it so much. And now I'm conflicted. What I really want is just to read this, but I feel obligated to read this since I had already started it. I think this is still due back at the library as well. Just do a little bit later. I think I'm going to read this though. It's really so easy to read middle grade books, and I think I could zoom through it in a day and then just work on this one along with the other books that I'm working on. I think that's what I'm going to do, because if I'm really wanting to read this, I think the reading will just come easier and quicker, and then move on to this one.
Yes, so I very much enjoyed Service with a Smile. I'm trying to think if there's another book with Warwick in them, or if I've read it, because it seems like he's probably...
I wanted to show you this gift that my mom got me. It's amazing. She saw an ad for it on Facebook, so I'm not sure where she got it, but it's a Little House on the Prairie book series quilt. And it's like one of my most beloved possessions now. So I'll get up close with all of the squares. There are 20 altogether. So some of these are the like little picture books. They've made My First Little House books. They're really nice little picture books, and I love the illustrations in them. I didn't know about this. My Little House Christmas Paper Dolls. I don't know, which of these are still in print. Another picture book, Summertime in the Big Woods. This to me makes me think of on the banks of Plum Creek. That's what it looks like it would be from, but I'm not sure completely. Going to town. I don't know about this one, Prairie Wisdom, because it also has Yvonne Pope on it, so I'm not sure about this one. Going west, a Little House picture book treasury, so I think that's a group of all the picture books. Then the regular Little House on the Prairie book, Christmas in the Big Woods. I just love this Christmas. I think it might be my favorite Christmas from all of the books together. A Little House Christmas Holiday Stories from the Little House books, and illustrated by Garth Williams, who did all the original illustrations. Then Little Town on the Prairie, so one of the original chapter books. Little House. It says Little House Big Adventure, so this might also be a picture book. And then this says A Little House Sampler, Laura Ingalls Wilder and Rose Wilder Lane, who was her daughter. It says a collection of early stories and reminiscences. I didn't know about this before this, so if any of you have read it, let me know. And then I remember checking this out from the library a little while ago. Little House in the Ozarks. So eventually Laura and Almanzo moved to the Ozarks, which that is to me like a bucket list place I want to visit, is their farm in the Ozarks, because the Ozarks are just absolutely beautiful. But she wrote for a local newspaper column, and these are some of her column. And I really enjoyed what I read. She just wrote about homemaking and her farm and just different musings, and it was really cool. And this is a Little House coloring book, which I think looks so neat. And then the final book in the series, These Happy Golden Years, By the Shores of Silver Lake, On the Banks of Plum Creek. And then this I have not read. Emma at Bookish Princess has really made me want to read it. Pioneer Girl, the annotated autobiography. It just basically includes lots of extra details that you don't just get in the series, and maybe things that weren't as fitting for a children's series. Yeah. So, and then Little House in the Big Woods. But I absolutely, absolutely love this quilt. I'm so excited to own it, and I thought you all would enjoy seeing it. So I showed a bunch of Gene Stratton Porter books that my mom gave to me that are like really have been passed down in the family. On my Instagram, I showed all of them, but I don't know how many of you follow me on Instagram, so I thought I'd show at least this one on here, A Girl of the Limberlost. Gene Stratton Porter is a American author from like 1911 to the 40s was when she was writing. I think that's about the span of her career. And A Girl of the Limberlost, I would say, is her most iconic novel, and Elena, a lovely subscriber, and I are going to be reading through several of her books. And what's so neat, as you can see there, Ira G. Luce is the name of the relative, so it's my great Uncle Ira, and it says read on January 26, 1911, which I think is so spectacular to have this in my hands. And then I love these illustrations. So Elnora, it's a story about Elnora Comstock, who wants to go to school. She lives out in the country and has to figure out a way to go to school. And she loves butterflies and moths, which Gene Stratton Porter herself really did. She wrote several books about the Limberlost and about moths and butterflies. And I think her books on those are really iconic for people who study that. Yeah, so this is the one that's on the cover. I'm really excited to reread this, and I really hope it lives up to its expectation. It's really nice to read with Elena, to have like a friend to go through several books. So I think we have about 5 or 6 that we'll be reading together. So this is our second one after Freckles. So I'm 7 hours and 34 minutes into Barnaby Rudge. 17 hours to go. I'm finding it mildly enjoyable. the reading is not coming nearly as easily as, say, David Copperfield or Dombey and Son. Like, I just looked forward to reading every single day. Great Expectations. This one is feeling like Nicholas Nickleby, although I'm not disliking it nearly as much as Nicholas Nickleby or A Tale of Two Cities. So I'm going to keep persevering, just doing maybe an hour a day or every other day, and just take my time with it, not pressure myself, even though it will be annoying if I have to check it out a second time and use 2 Hoopla checkouts. But I just found out about a certain show that is on Amazon Prime that I am very excited for. Growing Pains is on Amazon Prime. So I think I'm going to treat myself to 1 episode right now and then work on the audio for the 7 Sisters. But I mean, it's possibly one of the best themes ever. This song makes me so nostalgic. So this was on in the late 80s when it started. And so it was reruns by the time I was watching it. But I love it so much. And just to see young Kirk Cameron makes me so happy. So I have barely vlogged at all this week. It is now Friday, and I kind of think every Friday, heading into the evening, heading into the weekend I think a mystery and a cup of tea is just the best way to welcome the weekend in, to christen the weekend. So I will be starting the 5th Inspector Morse. It's just been I've just been too tired to read for multiple days this week, so I am behind on all my plans. I have renewed this, but it only renewed for 1 more week, and if I can't get to the library next week, because we're going this Saturday and it's far, so I doubt I'd be going 2 weeks in a row, but I might just accept the fines for, a week, 25 cents a day. Just think of it like renting the book. So yes. Starting that right now, and I'm really looking forward to it. That's why I was so bummed I couldn't start it earlier, because I really do enjoy these. Then A Girl of the Limberlost, which I am reading with Elena, and I am 12 chapters into it, 230 pages. I am enjoying this. The writing is not quite as flowery as I remembered, but I'm enjoying it. I really like the character of Elnora. She's really headstrong and just, I think, a really admirable female lead. So I'm compelled, excuse me, I'm compelled enough by the characters to keep reading this. 2 books that I did finish. The Word is Murder by Anthony Horowitz. I finished the last 150 pages in a day. It was that interesting. I really liked this. Gave it 4 stars. I think Anthony Horowitz, he's in such the world of the, classic whodunit. He's written for years for Midsummer Murders, the TV show, and for Foyle's War. He just knows what people like when it comes to mysteries. So I really liked this. I'll definitely read the 2nd in the series, and I hope he has more that come out. And he even makes me want to pick up House of Silk, which was one of his sequels to Sherlock Holmes. And I'm not really big on sequels not written by the author or Sherlock Holmes, but I really liked his writing. So it makes me want to try that. And then... there it goes. I finished The 7 Sisters and am in a slight reading slump because of it. I loved this so much. And even this involved an affair, and I still I forgave this book that, and I'm just so excited about this series. I'm now following Lucinda Riley on Instagram, and I saw her talking about the 6th book in the series coming out in October, and it's going to be in Africa. I'm not sure what country in Africa, but there were none of the other ones took place there. So I'm really excited. And so I don't know if there's a 7th book also coming out. I assume since the whole series is called The Seven Sisters, that there will be a 7th book coming out. I would love one in Asia. That's the only location that I think the whole series is in. So yeah, I think I will make myself wait until June for The Storm Sister, which is Allie's story. This was Maya's story. And then Allie's story takes place in Norway and involves a musician. Yeah, so I'm very much looking forward to this. I haven't been this excited about reading a series in a long time. And I just love how even when I'm really sick, listening to this audiobook was just the best thing. So yeah, I'm really excited. Now I'm going to sit down for the rest of Quiet Rest Time and read The Dead of Jericho.